got that piece of junk motor torn apart. And can't say really a piece of junk, but we will see why it blew up, what exactly happened, and we're going to tear it apart right here for you today on Gap Factory Garage. All right, just got the heads off. Let's see how it just looks first look. And that's gone. Just chunks of broken shit in there. Chunks of broken stuff in there. Chunks of stuff in there. Not quite sure what that stuff is yet. That's gone. About the same thing everywhere, just chunks of broken pieces in it. Well, let's dig it. Now, I'm gonna try to teach you something real quick that might help you out if you're ever by yourself and you can't get that crank pulled out. I mean, I've been struggling with it. What I did was took a ratchet strap, strapped it to the engine hoist, hooked to the top of the motor plate, so when you try to rotate it, the engine itself doesn't rotate. Now this time it actually did go a little bit easier on me due to the fact that the bottom end being junk and it is completely locked up. I just didn't have to stick a pry bar in or anything to try to get it to twist. But this little trick right here kept the motor from rotating on you, especially since it took the oil pan off first, and that was a stupid mistake. I should have left that on, usually do. But when you try to rotate the engine, it won't rotate because it's stuck to the engine hoist. It's better than even strapping it to the wall because it's strapped to the hoist itself, which will not allow it to move. All right, so at the end of the day, after going through all this junk, we found a lot better stuff than I thought we were going to, I guess. Let's start with the tranny. I haven't taken that apart yet. I'm probably not going to. I'm not a transmission guy. But we did get the rest of the bell housing off of the engine, so that's pretty neat. But yet, it's still going to be junk. When we move the engine, clearly it just shot a rod and a piston straight out the bottom. As I said before, it's just complete carnage, but not totally bad. I mean, you see chunks of everything down here on the messy floor and whatnot. What I found with the pistons and rods is, other than 1 and 2, all the rest of them are fine. Every single one. Not a bent rod, not a chipped piston, not a cracked piston. Every single piston's fine. The only one that has a crack in it is 3. And it has, or not a crack, but a chip taken out of it. And that, I assume, is from everything else exploding. I mean, there's 1 and 2, or what's what I have left of it. I mean, that carnage speaks for itself. The cam looks a lot better than I thought. Really, actually, it's still probably screwed. It's just 2 lobes that are really just ate up. The rest of it is a lot just fine. If it's going in another junk engine, I might run it. Who knows? The heads, obviously the valve springs will be fine. The heads, there's the driver's side. That's they're just got stuff in them. Pieces of metal, nicks in it. But all in all, I don't know how bad it is. Obviously, this one's going to be junk from all of the crap in it. This head actually looks, other than that, right there, it might be fine. I mean, just a little scuff pad and whatnot. Go out there, we're just running stock stuff. This is just great. I mean, the oil pump was nothing special. It was the original oil pump in the truck. Well, not the truck, but the motor itself. All the lifters are fine. You know, all the valve train pieces are fine. Everything else is fine. I mean, it's going to be savable, some stuff. I mean, you'll go to the motor, there's still one there. You know, it is chunked out. But when I say this motor wasn't that great to begin with, I mean, all that liquid you see there is water. It's not coolant. It's just rusty water. So this bottom end sat for 2 years on an engine stand, not getting used in a shop that wasn't, you know, insulated, just getting hot and cold. For the winter time up here in northern Indiana, we do get a lot of snow. It does get hot and cold. I mean, I'm sure you guys know that. And it sat and it was locked up before we even started. Now we went out, put probably around 1,100 horse through it, and not a single bent rod. And honestly, this is what happens when a 4L80 will shift into overdrive. That's what I'm thinking happened. That's what Jake says they think happened. According to data, the rear tail shaft speed sensor, or the speed sensor itself, stopped before engine RPM did. And everything else is just locked up. So, I mean, at the end of the day, who knows? I think this motor would have still lasted, and we were planning on running it next year. So, at the end of the day, it is what it is, but we don't know. I mean, I have another motor right here, another 6.0 block. We may put pistons and rods in it. Who knows? Side note, also, if you guys, anybody knows of what could have happened with the tranny, let me know in the comments. I'm kind of baffled yet. It could have been overdrive. I've had some people tell me that it could have been. It looks like what happens when the trans brake kicks in the middle of a pass. Same type of damage. Or the third thing was the drive shaft speed. But I don't think it could be drive shaft speed with the fact that it's twisted in half and just the way it looks like and how everything is locked up. If you have any ideas, I appreciate help. Let me know. Thank you.